All right, Austin, top of the ninth, and you know what that means. Reds are leading 7-4 is the score. Emilio Pagan in looking to pick up the save. Pete Crow Armstrong at the plate for the Cubs. How we doing tonight, Austin?
Hey, it's a smile inside of the scoreboard, as they say. I'll take it.
Hey,
It's feeling like 2023 over here, so I'm just hoping they close it out.
let's hope Emilio Pagan can throw some strikes and not have to worry about this score. 7-4 right now. Reds lead by 3. 2-0 now against PCA. Just a second opportunity for a save since September 2nd and first in 10 days for Pagan. The 2-0 is swung on and missed. Fastball at the top of the zone, 95 miles an hour for Pagan. Man, we're going to have a fun tonight, Austin, if this one holds up. I got to say, I am continuing my excitement from last night and hoping that as PCA grounds out to first base, Spencer Steer
First
will
out.
step on it, one down. Last night was a fun show with Trace. Hopefully the Reds can close this out and we can have another fun show tonight with a lot of people in the chat.
Yeah, the battle in Reds, man. It's good to see him at least sparring. It seems like some games this year we'd be in this position with no hope of coming back if we were down or, on the ropes if they were close. And I'll take it, man. Obviously, two
Yep.
more outs here. I'm not going to get too far ahead of it. I've seen
Nope.
that before, but hey, man, it's at least some fun baseball. City Connect night.
Absolutely. Yep. Might be the last time we see the Reds in the City Connects this year. Matt Shaw now at the plate. Ball one from Emilio Pagan. Nico Horner in the top of the lineup on deck. The
Yeah, what do
1-0
they do in the
from,
playoffs for City Connects? Does people do that?
I don't know. That's a good question. That was an awkward play there. Wow. Broke his bat. Check swing from Shaw, and the bat just absolutely got sawed off at the handle. What happened?
Back-to-back nights, some crazy sawed-off
Yeah.
bats.
Look at that. Foul ball just sawed him off. Pretty impressive for
Conspiracy
Pagan to
against
be able
big,
to do that.
big lumber, big wood.
Well, Matt Shaw will have to get a new bat and is 1-1 now. Shaw 1 for 3 with a 2-run home run in the fourth inning. The 1-1 also fouled off.
It's been a home
96
run
miles
night.
an hour fastball outside. Now, I know 5 home runs for the Reds. We'll talk about it. Don't give away too much, Austin.
Yeah, they know. They know. Unless there's a small minority that just tunes in for the post-game show and doesn't
Hey,
watch.
who would blame them? Who would blame them? The
I
1-2
probably
to
would.
Shaw. Sent into right center field. That'll be a base hit. Shaw pushing for 2. The throw in is cut by McLean. And Matt Shaw in with a stand-up double. Second extra base hit of the night for Shaw. And that'll bring up Horner. Nico Horner 1 for 4 on the day. First pitch from Pagan is sent down the third base line foul.
Nothing like the top of the lineup in the ninth inning.
Heck yeah. The pitch from Pagan swung on and sent down the left field line foul again.
Look out, man.
Back-to-back cutters from Pagan to Horner.
Optimistic John in the chat. Don't trust Pagan. It's not very optimistic.
Yeah. Well, I know you don't do a lot of these shows, Austin, but that optimistic label only applies sometimes. As Horner yet again fouls off another one. This one a fastball he's laid on, sends into the right field stands. If you get him going on Santiago Espinal, though, he'll be real optimistic.
Looks like our team MVP there for a while. I'll give him that.
Yep.
0-2 6 months ago.
Lined and caught by Ke'Bryan Hayes. Hit hard by Nico Horner and caught on the line. 92 miles an hour off the bat, straight at Ke'Bryan Hayes, and the Reds have 2 down. Come on, Emilio.
Ke'Bryan's back, seems to be doing all right.
Yeah, I listen, I don't know. Well, maybe we can talk about that during the show, too. There's a lot we can talk about today, Austin. Ian Happ, Reds killer Ian Happ. Looks at ball 1 down. Feels like I say Reds killer a lot about this Cubs lineup, though. Seiya Suzuki, Ian Happ.
Yeah, Happ for sure. Lifer.
Happ fouls that one back, 1-1. Swing at a cutter down out of the zone. 1-2 now for Pagan as he looks to close this one out. The 1-2. Swung and fouled away. Just nubbed that one away into the Cubs dugout. Happ looks at a fastball just outside, 2-2.
This is definitely the guy it would come down to with Happ, though. It's nuts.
Yep. 2-2. Swung on and popped up. Elly heads out. Friedel comes in. Austin Hayes takes over and makes the catch. Reds take the first 2 from Chicago in the 4-game set. Final 7-4. Austin, let's do a show.
Bench to bench. Change hit in the air to deep right field. That goes Clemente. And the save. He's done. Get out of here, baseball. He scored. Oh, my God. Can you believe it? Johnny Bench has tied it up. The Cincinnati Reds win the World Series in 4 straight. It was a sweep. In the dirt. It's a wild pitch. Here comes Boston. The Reds win the pennant. Larkins won the game. That ball is fair. Cincinnati's ahead. 2 games to none. Welcome, Joe Randa to Cincinnati. Adam Dunn has done it again. Benzinger backing and calling. And the 1990 World Championship belongs to the Cincinnati Reds.
Marty, yes. This is Adam from Milwaukee. Hey, Adam, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? Good. Do you think Scott Hatteberg's a good player?
Dunn up there with the bases loaded. The outfield deep and around toward right, and the 1-0 on the way to the plate. Swung on. Long drive. Right field. And this one belongs to the Reds.
And a high drive. Hit back into deep right field. Junior has just knocked the door down to the 500 club. Benson's first home run is a walk-off winner. That ball had a family.
And De La Cruz is, oh my goodness, look at this kid run. My, oh my. That is a triple.
Matt McClain's first big league bomb. Spencer Steele
career's first big league hit is a home run to straightaway center field. Joey Votto's done it again.
The pitch. Votto swings high in the air. Right field. Yes! He pointed to the dugout to say, I told you. That is Joey Votto's 315th career go-ahead ribby. Only Johnny Bench had more as a Red.
And I can't tell you how much it means to play in front of everyone here in Cincinnati as a Red. What a gift. What a tremendous gift. So thank you. Thank you.
I think I can speak for all of Reds country. Joey Votto, thank you.
High drive, left center field, racing back to the wall, Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! He did! Reds win! Win! Line to the right field. Genius, the first Red ever with 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Doesn't have a chance. The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter. Oh, gosh. Are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win it. What a dream beginning to a career of Cruz.
Reds win again. Austin back to back over the Cubs. Now 3 straight wins for the Red Hot Reds. Dare I say it? The Red Hot Reds catching
Playing the
fire
Barry
at
Larkin
the right
song.
time, going into the playoffs, getting hot. I don't know. This Reds pitching staff pitches like they're capable of. Reds hitters start hitting home runs like they're capable of. Not many teams going to want to see the Reds in the playoffs. Austin, how we doing? Your initial reaction? 7-4 Reds win.
Oh man, doing great. I mentioned it in the before the break there. It seems like it's 2023 again. You got Lodolo on the mound. You got home run by McLean, Steer, Elly, 2 by Steer, right? So I mean, and this is City Connect Friday. Like I was waiting for Joey Votto to come off the bench and hit a home run or something, man. It felt really good, but no, man. I mean, and to your point, with the starting pitching we've had has been great pretty much all year. We didn't get a great start out of Lodolo tonight, but with that offense, man, if you can do stuff like that, that keeps you in games. Like you don't necessarily need a great start. So it's back-to-back nights of kind of weird wins. If you're the Reds, just 1-0 last night, obviously, but then the offense tonight, I mean, it's a good time to get hot. We talked about it, Craig. If you're going to get hot, you might as well do it when it matters most. There's a lot of time left, but I'm a happy guy tonight.
Absolutely. 5 home runs. First time all year they've hit 5 home runs. They've hit 4 home runs 3 separate times, but not since July. And, I'd have to look it up, Austin, but I have a sneaking suspicion what we might have in common between tonight and the last time the Reds did this might have to do with a guy named Elly de la Cruz, who decided that Spencer Steer is not allowed to have the team lead for home runs by himself. We'll get into it. We'll talk all about it, Austin. Let's do a quick box score recap. I assume everybody watching saw it, but for those that are listening to the podcast or rewatching this later on, here is how we got to 7-4. The box score recap, as always, presented by Nicholas P. Kirby. Reds and Cubs return to Great American Ballpark for game 2 of a 4-game set on Friday night. It was a lefty-lefty matchup as the Cubs gave the ball to Shota Imanaga while the Reds turned to Nick Lodolo. Let me tell you, this was not a pitching duel. This was a slugfest. Miguel Andujar got the Reds on the board in the bottom of the first with a solo home run, but then Dansby Swanson answered with a solo shot of his own in the top of the second. In the top of the third, Ian Happ doubled to left, scoring Nico Horner, giving the Cubs a 2-1 lead. But the Reds answered again. Matt McLain this time hit a solo shot to left center to bring it back to even. Pete Crow Armstrong reached on an infield single in the top of the fourth before Matt Shaw smashed a go-ahead home run to left field for a 4-2 Cubs lead. Spencer Steer got one of the runs back with a solo home run in the bottom of the fourth to make it 4-3 Cubs. And Nick Lodolo was pulled after just 4 2/3 innings, gave up 9 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. In the bottom of the fifth, Ke'Bryan Hayes walked and then advanced to second on a throwing error on a pickoff attempt by Imanaga. He'd later score on a TJ Friedl single to draw even once again at 4-all. After Austin Hayes reached on an infield single in the bottom of the sixth, Spencer Steer took the Reds' season lead with his 20th home run of the season and second of the night. But Elly de la Cruz came up next and told Spencer Steer, "Nana," and hit a bomb of his own opposite field for the first home run in 191 plate appearances. And just like that, the Reds led 7-4. Connor Phillips threw 1 1/3 innings of no-hit baseball. He had 2 strikeouts. Nick Martinez then went 1 inning of 1-hit scoreless baseball. Tony Santillan worked a scoreless 8th, and Emilio Pagan nailed it down in the 9th. Reds win 7-4. They improved to 77 and 75 on the year. Mets are still playing as of recording, so Reds currently sit 1.5 games out of the wild card. Mets are currently leading 8-6 over the Washington Nationals. That game in the bottom of the 7th there in New York. And we do, in fact, have a deep drive of the day. It goes to Matt McLain. I know, I debated. I thought about giving it to Elly, but in the true spirit of the promotion, the longest home run of the night was Matt McLain. It was his 15th home run of the night. It happened in the bottom of the third, tying the game at 2-2. Increased the Reds' win probability 12.6% up to 53% overall. 107.3 off the bat at a 27-degree launch angle. That adds up to 422 feet. DSC is a leader in renewable commodities for biofuel production, specializing in used cooking oil collection, aggregation, and sales. Visit www.deepsouthcommodities.com for more information. Thanks as always to John and our friends at DSC. All right, Austin, look, this was an absolute slugfest, but I have to start with the Elly de la Cruz conversation. Look, Trace and I last night talked about it. We talked about Hunter Greene's start being an opportunity to be a spark for this Reds team down the close of this season and potentially into a playoff push. We talked about how he was laying the kindling, and I said they really just need an offensive spark, maybe from Elly de la Cruz, maybe from Matt McLain, one of these guys to get hot. And what happens? The Reds come out and they hit 5 home runs tonight. Elly de la Cruz gets out of his slump, 191 plate appearances since his last home run, walked twice on the night as well, Austin. Really good. As you can assume, really good to see him bust out of this little slump that he's been in and get off the schneid. He's going to be a vital part of this Reds team down the stretch if they want to make the playoffs.
100%. It's good to see Trace cash in on his bet too. So I put $33 on Elly hitting a home run
Something
tonight.
like that. It's kind of a joke that it was only plus 474 though, isn't it?
Yeah, check out the video of Trace coming out of whatever store he was in tonight too. He posted it on his X account. I can only assume he was in some store, like, you know, the scene at the end of Old School, Will Ferrell like is in the grocery store. It's like, "We're back," and he's like punching the groceries. I can only imagine that was what Trace was doing. But no, it was great to see, man, for Elly, because honestly, as like a Reds, I don't know, fandom, I feel like this is as negative as people have kind of been in the past couple weeks on Elly. Just, all around defense, offense, everything's, the home runs obviously been a talking point for 43 games or whatever it's been. So yeah, it's awesome to see, man. And like you guys were talking about in the show last night, I listened to it today on the podcast, but if any one of these guys, McLean, Elly, like you just need one of these guys to get hot, and it's the right time to do it. It's a little late for my taste, but hey, if it works, man, and they still make a run, I'll absolutely take it. So I don't know, man. I think it was cool to see the momentum, not only from a lineup perspective, but the dugout was going nuts. The fans were going nuts. It looked good, man. And it just hasn't been a feeling that we as Reds fans have seen. Back-to-back home runs, kind of an electric Elly atmosphere. So hey, keep it rolling, man. But I'll take it.
Look, I said it at the time. I mean, it can definitely spark a run. And how many times have we seen teams and players who just happen to get hot at the right time and then parlay that into a run in the playoffs? And look, this Reds team has been faltering. There is no doubt about it. They've struggled over the last couple months. They've kind of hung around at 500. They've got up to 6 or 7 games over 500, and then they came all the way back down. At the end of the day, if they get in, it's going to be because they get hot right now. And if they get hot right now, well, I hate to break it to you, but that might lead them into a really good opportunity for them. And if they can line up their pitching, and this is going to be a conversation. I know Nick and I and some others were having a conversation about this earlier today, but you've got to figure out how do you line up your pitching appropriately throughout the rest of the season to also set yourself up for that playoffs. Because what you don't want to do is go out and, pitch Hunter Greene in that last game of the season and then him not be available for a wild card matchup. But at the same time, you got to make sure you get in to the wild card series as well. So it's kind of a difficult decision. I don't know how they're going to handle it. It'll be interesting to watch what happens as it comes down the stretch. But Elly specifically, I mean, I think one of the most encouraging pieces for me was not just the home run. The home run was obviously great. But he walked twice as well, showed good discipline at the plate. And for me, I think that was a big piece of this as well, in terms of having faith in him being able to turn this around and be a big provider for the Reds down this stretch.
2 walks tonight. Good to see too. I mean, obviously the home runs tend to get all the press, but get that guy on base, man. I know his speed, whatever has been talked about. They said on the broadcast last night that his sprint speed's still up there at the tops of the league. But I mean, as Reds fans, we know he's not stealing the same base as he was a couple years ago. But get that guy on base. He can still be dangerous. It's awesome to see that, especially with him batting lower in the lineup. If they get production out of the top half of the lineup out of guys like Hayes and DeHart tonight and everything else, man. I mean, it can be a balanced approach with Steer sprinkled in the mix too. So this is tonight was kind of the optimistic Reds fan view of what this lineup could be. And to your point, I think if they're going to get in, they're still going to have to make up some ground. Looks like the Mets are probably going to win tonight, but anything could happen there. But I mean, shoot, if they're still 2 games out with about a week left, like they're going to have to get hot. They're going to have to get some help, but they're definitely going to have to get hot regardless. So I'd like to see it.
Well, I mean, let's take a look at the schedule the rest of the way here for the Reds. Obviously 2 more against the Cubs, and then you get the Pirates to come to town for 3. I'm not going to agree to here. Let's say you win the series against the Cubs, you take 1 more from them, and then you go and you sweep the Pirates. Now all of a sudden you've won 8 of your last 9 games going into a Brewers series in Milwaukee, where Milwaukee is likely going to have very little to play for. I don't know if they've officially clinched the 1 seed yet. Do you know if that's the case? Let me look.
I don't know that.
They have currently a 3-game lead over the Phillies. So not yet. But if they can hopefully do that before we go to Milwaukee, that would be great. And then they will have absolutely nothing to play for while the Reds battle to get into the playoffs. I don't think it's out of the question to think that the Reds can get hot, go into that series with something to prove and something to play for. And maybe the Brewers aren't necessarily playing for something, and they're able to take advantage of maybe the Brewers throwing less than optimal arms during that series in order to save them for the playoffs. But we'll wait and see what happens. Take care of business first with the Cubs. 2 more in that series before they move on. Other thoughts on Elly before we move on to just the overall home run parade? 5 home runs tonight.
No, but he didn't look that fatigued tonight, which is good to see. I know that's been a talking point too, and I don't know, man. He must have been feeling pretty rested to hit that home run. But nah, good to see on Elly. Hope he keeps it up.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, hit home run parade. Look, 5 home runs for the first time this year. Something that we haven't seen this Reds team do in volume in a long time. The last time that they hit even 4 home runs in a game was back in July. So definitely positive. I talked about it on the show last night that Imanaga gives up a lot of pull fly balls, and that this was a matchup that I thought the Reds could take advantage of, and they did just that, Austin.
Yeah, it was huge. And I think, yeah, to your point, not only guys like Elly, but just the rest of the team that seem to show up for these guys. It's funny. I just saw a tweet come across from Charlie Goldsmith. I guess this is post game from Elly too. Not to get back to Elly after I said I didn't have anything more to say about him, but I guess he said Elly De La Cruz on what he's learned. He says it's all about mentality. You have to keep your mind strong. So maybe that's what Elly's kind of hinting at. It's been kind of a mental fatigue for him for sure, and just changing that mindset work tonight if that's what he's doing. So hopefully he keeps that up. But no, man, I mean, this is the type of team win that you really got to have, because some nights you don't have the pitching like we saw out of Lodolo, only going 4 and 2/3, I think, of for the game tonight. And they're going to have to kind of balance that out too anyway. I mean, we can't just rely on winning 1-0, obviously, every night. So this is it, man. This is the stretch that they got to make. I don't know. What were your key takeaways? Because I think, to me, I mean, I'm just ecstatic at the offense that we saw, obviously, but I don't know if I'm praying on something that's going to be gone, tomorrow, or if we can keep that up, but I don't know, man.
Well, a couple of takeaways. One is, obviously it's nice to know that you can win a game either way, right? I think that the Reds, a lot of their wins this year have felt like it's been the pitching carrying them more than the offense. And so this was one of those rare times where the offense was able to pick up a, less than stellar start from Nick Lodolo. And then, to your point, that bullpen really came in clutch as well. Connor Phillips, Nick Martinez, Tony Santillan, and Emilio Pagan, they worked 4 1/3 scoreless innings to shut this game down. And, Nick Lodolo has had some outings like this. Wasn't his best night, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't like a complete blow up. It just wasn't great, right? And he gave up home runs himself. But it's nice to know that when that happens, that you can pick up your pitcher with some offensive outbursts. And, last night the pitching picked up the Reds' lack of offense. They only managed 4 hits total last night against this Cubs team. And now, obviously, tonight they come back out and they hit 5 home runs, more hits than they had in the entire game last night. So definitely good to see. But this is back-to-back somewhat rough outings for Lodolo. And even going back before that, he pitched really well against the Padres, a game that the Reds lost in extra innings, but struggled against the Dodgers before that as well. So it's definitely one of those things where you need him to get comfortable. Again, he's coming back from that blister, and is, he's going to be needed. This Nick Lodolo is going to get a start in the postseason if the Reds are able to get there, right? So you hope that the confidence that he can gain from this Reds offense picking him up is enough to parlay into a quality outing if he does get a start in a playoff game. But he's going to need to be better, and I think he knows that. But it's good to know that the bullpen and the offense were able to pick him up. And, this bullpen's been worked. And for them to come in and go 4 1/3 scoreless is pretty big. I don't know. I honestly almost think that the bullpen is just as big of a story as, Nick Lodolo's weak outing. just in terms of being able to pick them up. And, again, that offense gave that spark. This game was back and forth for much of the game. And, then the Reds really took over in the back half in the fifth. So, I don't know. It's just, it was exciting. It was an exciting game. And then when Elly hit that home run, obviously just sent it over the top, back to back with Spencer Steer, and really took it to the next level.
Yeah, to your point, I mean, Lodolo kind of teetering on the verge of letting the game get out of hand, 4 earned runs. I agree. It's not terrible, not great, obviously, either. But the next 4 guys that came in that you mentioned all shoved. And I think that's huge for kind of stopping that, right? Where the Cubs momentum could have carried on. They could have kept scoring runs. But the Reds bullpen kept their offense in it and let the offense kind of get a chance to actually make some good at-bats, get the home runs, obviously, which have been, crazy thoughts for this team, it seems like at times. But yeah, hopefully it's contagious too, because I think, to your point, the bullpen's been pretty overworked, I would say. I know it's at one point, I don't know if he still does, Santion led the league in appearances, which is crazy. But he got an off day, Monday too. So they kind of go through this series, pretty tough matchup against the Cubs, obviously. Reset Monday, go for the Pirates, go for the Brewers. But I mean, to your point, those two, hopefully the Pirates obviously, aren't super great. Neither were the Athletics, and the Brewers. I mean, I'm not going to count those as anything till after it happens, man, with the Brewers. But I don't know. It's a good position to be in. I was thinking during the game too. It's like, it sucks that we, not making up any ground as things stand right now. Mets winning 9-6 in the bottom of the 8th. But at the same time, like, I was thinking, like, if we were up a game on the Mets right now, would I feel, confident or anything? Like, no, like, there's a whole week left. Like, we got to play some ball, man. But so I don't know. I think we're still on the outside looking in. I think it's not a good place to be in on the terms of being on the outside and, not being in a playoff spot. But you'd almost rather be playing for something than kind of worrying about blowing it. I think I don't know, maybe mentality wise doesn't matter as much, but that's the way that I look at it. But I don't know. Do you think, I mean, how much do we trust the Mets, I guess is what I'm trying to figure out, because
I don't.
The Reds could get really hot this next week, and it all really depends on what the Mets do. So it's like, I know they're up and down all year, but I don't know. I hope they don't finally put it together, the Mets, is I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that would be really, I mean, look, at the end of the day, if the Mets put it together at the same time that the Reds do, then so be it. They get hot at the same time. The Reds had opportunities, and that's ultimately what's going to come back to in this whole conversation. If they don't make the playoffs, is they had plenty of opportunities. The Mets lost, what was it, like 9 of 10 games at one point? They had their chances
last weekend, the Reds.
Yeah. They hosted the Mets for a series in Cincinnati earlier this month and dropped 2 of 3, so, when you had the Mets get swept in a 4-game series by the Phillies and then go and drop the first 2 to the Rangers and lose 8 straight games, that was your chance. And they didn't take advantage of it. So now the Mets go and they take 2 or 3 from the Padres, and, the Mets have the Nationals now, and then they get this Cubs team. So, part of it is let's beat the hell out of the Cubs so that this Cubs team is mad when they go to New York or I guess host New York and want to beat the Mets, because what I don't want to have happen is the Mets go to Chicago and the Cubs just lay over like they have in the first 2 games, and the Mets end up sweeping the Cubs, because that would be terrible too. And then obviously the Marlins is just kind of Nick and Trace have talked about this. The Marlins is kind of a crapshoot. You don't really know what you're going to get out of a young team at the end of the season like that, a season that's basically lost at this point. But the Reds had their opportunities, and if they don't make the playoffs, all they can really do is blame themselves, and that's really it. So it is what it is.
The Cubs are still playing for something too. We talked about it, me and Ricky, on the pregame show. Like, these guys are playing for home field advantage in the wild card series. So,
yep,
like they're not trying, which is the bad way to phrase that. But they got something to play for. So these are meaningful games on both sides. So it's good to see. I mean, the pitching on both sides last night was crazy with the Cubs and the Reds, but tonight, I mean, winning a slugfest, I think, is equally as impressive for this guys.
Right. Yeah. Okay. We have a super chats to get to. Simple $10 super chat from Mark Fetters. Spencer Steer, all caps. I think that's a valid super chat. 2 home runs for Spence tonight. 2 for 3. Walked. Pretty solid couple of days for Spencer Steer here.
Yeah, that's awesome. $5 for each home run from Mark. I appreciate it. And go Bucks.
There you go. And then Mike Dean, he said, I asked my wife, why do we start Steer over Stewart? Well, worked out tonight. I don't know that it's a long-term solution, but it worked out tonight for sure. We'll talk about tomorrow's starter and Spencer Steer's performance against them here in a little bit. But first, we want to remind you, as always, that you can call or text 988 anytime, day or night. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is a place to get support for anything related to mental health, whether it's an immediate crisis, simply wanting to find out how to connect with care, or anything in between. It's a 100% confidential, secure, and anonymous way to reach out for help when you don't know where else to turn. To connect, call or text 988 or visit mantherapy.org to get help. It's okay not to be okay. And we want to remind you that the Omaha Steaks Red Hot Sales event is going on now, Austin. The entire site currently 50% off. Plus, if you use code Chatterbox at checkout, you'll get an extra $35 off. Got a couple text messages while we were live here today, Austin, coordinating a cookout for tomorrow. I told Trace the other day, I've got some friends coming over. I already got my package in. I placed my order on like Sunday night. Package got here on Wednesday. Texted some friends. They're going to come over and we'll do a little grill out. Got some steak burgers, some jumbo franks, and then got some steaks that I'm going to keep for myself. I don't know that I'm going to share those with our friends, but nonetheless, if you
50% off, you can.
Absolutely. So as a reminder, get fired up for fall grilling with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Red Hot Sale event. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code Chatterbox at checkout. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra $35 off with promo code Chatterbox at checkout. See site for details. All right. Austin, any final thoughts on tonight's game before we take a look at the MILB schedule and what's coming up next?
Well, to play off the Omaha Steaks, it was good to see the Reds grill some pitching tonight. That's my bad joke for the day. Anybody wants to put a super chat, go ahead. But no, man, I mean, I've said it a million times already. It's just a fun win. One of the wins that we've really feeling like we've lacked this whole year as a Reds team. It seems like we had tons of them back in, the 2023 season, even some flashes here and there last year. But I mean, this is one of those wins that just seemed like it was fun to finally be a Reds fan. Guys were kind of playing to what we think they could be. They are who we thought they were, type of deal. And I don't know, man. Like, I hope it's not over, because like this team at its best, I think, can do some damage to anybody. And we've seen them do it in spurts against, everybody, throughout the course of the year. And look, I just hope it's not over, man. I'm ready for some meaningful, dare I say, postseason baseball. Hopefully they get there. There's still a lot of time left, but I mean, this is the kind of game you have to play if you want to be there. So I'll take it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of over, it might be over in New York. The Mets are rallying here in the bottom of the 8th. They now lead the Washington Nationals 12-6. So this one might be over. The Reds might be 2 games out of the playoffs by the time tonight is all said and done. Meanwhile, though, elsewhere in MLB, a couple late games on the agenda. The Padres, they're trailing the White Sox. Actually, they just lost to the White Sox 4-3. So White Sox pick up a win there. But the things that you're keeping your eye on outside of the Mets, Phillies and D-backs, they're just underway. D-backs take a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first there. Giants and Dodgers getting ready to start here at 10:10 Eastern time. So both of the other games that matter to the Reds, not quite really at a point where you can report on it. Speaking of not really at a point where I can report on it, the Chattanooga Lookouts and Birmingham Barons are at the end of the 7th inning. Austin Hendrick just hit a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 7th to make it 8-6 Birmingham. So Chattanooga trying to claw back in that one. For the Lookouts, couple things of note. Edwin Arroyo 1 of 5. Leo Balcazar 1 for 2 with 2 walks. Cam Collier 1 for 3 with a walk. Ethan O'Donnell 2 for 3, and Austin Hendrick now 2 for 4. He's got 3 RBIs in this one. In Louisville, the Nashville 5-3. Louisville is really kind of struggling their way to the end of the season here for the AAA season. Blake Dunn 0 for 3 in this one. Hector Rodriguez 0 for 4. Edwin Rios is 1 for 2. Francisco Urbaez 1 for 3. Ryan Valade 0 for 3. CES 1 for 4 with a home run. So shout out to CES, his 11th home run of the season. And Connor Joe 1 for 3 in that one. Reaver San Martin, 2 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs. TJ Antone, feel bad for the guy, but he has struggled ever since going to AAA. 2/3 of an innings pitched tonight, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. ERA sitting at 11.57. On the other side, Buck Farmer, he's doing the complete opposite. 1 1/3, 1 hit, no runs, 2 strikeouts so far for Buck Farmer. And now Luis May in to replace Buck Farmer in the top of the 9th. As Louisville looks to battle back in that one. Tomorrow, Reds and Cubs back at it tomorrow. Saturday, 6:40 p.m. first pitch. Reds are turning to Zach Littell. 30 starts on the season now for Littell. He's 9-8 with a 3.86 ERA. Last time out at St. Louis on the 15th of September, 5 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Reds did win that one 11-6. He's made 7 career appearances against the Cubs, but only 1 start. He's 2-0 with an 0.71 ERA. This will be a second time facing the Cubs this season. First time out, 7 innings of 3-hit, 1-run ball, 2 walks and 8 strikeouts on August 5th. It was a 5-1 Reds win. The solo run was a home run by Matt Shaw. Active Cubs hitters, Matt Shaw 1 for 2 with a home run. Carlos Santana 2 for 6 with a double. Michael Busch 1 for 3. PCA 1 for 3. Dansby Swanson 2 for 8. Willie Castro 3 for 13 with a home run. Justin Turner 1 for 7. Reese McGuire, Ian Happ, Carson Kelly, Nico Herner, and Seiya Suzuki all 0-4. On the other side, Jameson Taillon will take the mound for the Cubs. He's 10-6 with a 3.93 ERA. Taillon has allowed 2 earned runs or less in each of his last 5 starts, including all 4 since returning from the injured list, which sidelined him for nearly 2 months. This doesn't necessarily match his career numbers, but this year he has severe reverse splits. In 2025, against left-handed batters, they're hitting just 197 against him. Last time out, again on the 15th against Pittsburgh, 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Taillon has made 19 starts against the Reds in his career. He's 7-6 with a 4.67 ERA. But get this, Austin, at Great American Small Park, he is 2-5 with a 6.65 ERA in 9 games. He's faced the Reds 1 time this season back on June 1st. It was a 7-3 Cubs win at Wrigley, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. A lot of Reds have had a lot of success against him. Austin Hayes is 8 for 14 with 3 doubles. Tyler Stevenson, 5 for 12 with a double and a home run. Will Benson, 4 for 10 with a double and a home run. Elly's 4 for 11 with a double and 2 home runs. Maybe he can get another one tomorrow. Spencer Steer, 4 for 15, 2 doubles and a home run. TJ Friedel, 4 for 16 with a double and 2 home runs. Matt McLean, 2 for 8. Ke'Bryan Hayes, 1 for 5. Santiago Espinal, 3 for 17. Marte and Lux both 0 for in limited appearances. And that is tomorrow's matchup with Jameson Taillon. What are you looking for tomorrow, Austin? How do the Reds get another W?
Yeah, I mean, if they put up some runs tonight, you maybe don't need as good of a bounce back game from Littell as I would hope for. But Littell in his last game, he kind of got bailed out by a lot of runs. We ended up winning against the Cardinals 11-6 in that game. 4 runs by Littell, though, 5 2/3 of an inning. Seems like that was a long time ago, but it's only 4 days ago on the 15th. But, he's kind of the same position to me as Lodolo was coming into tonight. How does he respond after kind of a tough start in his last outing? Lodolo kind of replicated the tough outing again for himself, but Littell's got a chance to bounce back, keep this team in it. I mean, if he can do something similar to how Lodolo did tonight again, give up something around 4 runs, keep the Reds in the game at least, I think that would be huge. But really, I mean, the name of the game for Littell is don't give up too many home runs, right? I mean, that's his kind of his bread and butter, unfortunately, playing in Grand American Small Park at that. But that's going to be the biggest thing for me. What can Littell do to kind of tame this Cubs offense, guys like Horner and Happ and all those guys? But can they keep him in it? Because I don't know, man. I'd love to see the Reds continue to put up this type of offensive performance, but we just haven't seen it consistently. And hey, if they keep it up, then I'm gladly going to eat my words on that. But it's going to be a pitching story for me first tomorrow. I don't know where you're leaning on it.
I'm looking for the Reds to continue this power surge that they have against Jameson Taillon. Stevenson with a home run, Benson with a home run, Elly with 2, Steer with 1, and Friedel with 2. I just put it in the chat. I think this is one of the most straightforward lineups that Tito will have all year. Benson, in no particular order. Benson, Stewart, Elly, Steer, McLean, Friedel, Stevenson, and Hayes. Like, there is no question about it. That is your lineup. Put them in whatever order you're going to put them in. I don't really care, but that's your lineup. If Ke'Bryan Hayes starts tomorrow, if Santiago Espinal starts tomorrow, if, with all due respect, if Noelvi Marte starts tomorrow, if Gavin Lux starts tomorrow, I might have a fit. But knowing Tito, he's probably going to put Gavin Lux in there because he's a left-handed bat against Taillon. But I'm telling you, he shouldn't be in the lineup. There's way too much success in this lineup against Jameson Taillon for them to do anything else. So, and I apologize.
Scratch our heads at lineups all season, though, man. We'll see.
Yeah, I know. I see Molly in the chat asking if Matt McLean hit tonight. She must have joined late. So I just started the little ticker again for you so you can see the box score. But yes, Matt McLean hit a home run tonight. So keep him going. Other thoughts, Austin? I mean, I'm pumped up. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to run through a wall.
Yeah, maybe don't do that, but it was a great night to be a Reds fan. I'd hate to see all those, memorabilia behind you crash, like if you bust through like the Kool-Aid Man or something. But no, it's a good night to be a Reds fan, man. Like I said, this is a fun one. I think it's wins like this that keep them in it, and hopefully we don't have to eat the mishaps that we had early this year that we kind of touched on, where really the Reds they can only blame themselves if they don't get it, if they don't get into it. But if they do get in it, I think it's huge, and they can definitely pat themselves on the back because they're going to have to pull it off in an impressive manner. Tonight, it was impressive. So hopefully that's a sign of good things to come, figuring it out, get Elly De La Cruz right, get that guy hot, man. Get him hot just for a week, sprinkle a little McLean in there, sprinkle a little Spencer Steer in there too. They've got the guys to do it, man. And to your point, play the right dudes. Willie B, hopefully put him in tomorrow. He's been knocking the cover off the ball as Reds Nation kind of thought that he would. But man, I don't know. It's going to be a fun last week here. I know you got football starting tomorrow for people, but keep on these Reds, man. This weekend's huge for them. Off Monday. in the final stretch. So I'm locked in. I've given up a few times, I think, like you guys have said before. I've given up so many times, man. Usually at the hands of the Cubs too. At that, it seems like they usually break my heart. But nah, man, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid tonight, and just got to keep it up, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Mets game just went final 12-6. Mets win over the Nationals in that one. So your Reds are officially 2 games out of a playoff spot for the evening. Nothing can change that as of right now. So when we get back with you tomorrow night, and it'll be, I think, myself and Corey tomorrow, hopefully we'll be talking about another Reds victory and hopefully making up a game in this playoff race. So for Austin Layton, I'm Craig Sandlin. This has been Chatterbox Reds. We sincerely appreciate you all tuning in on this Friday night. I know you have lots of things that you could be doing with your time, and we appreciate you spending it with us. For Austin Layton again, we will see you next time. Go Reds.